GearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know the rest. I'm still gonna say it anyway. Children of all shapes and sizes, it's your boy, you know what it is, Mr. Gabriel Soul, aka Cyclone Jones, in the building, along with my boy, Pat G. The G stands for gangster, and we are the TTRP Turnbuckle Talk Radio, again on another road trip, down the road to another show, in the car interviews. Pat G, tell them what it is.
Yes, we are on our way to PA for ACWA, and we're joined in the car along with Trip and Lucane Saker.
Yes, we are. Now, this is going to be a special interview, because Trip has a lot to say. I have a lot to not say, but kind of just rebuttal over a lot of things that that I've said over my soapbox last week that you heard. Whenever you hear this one, it'll probably be next week, right? Yeah. Because we record whenever we want to, because we do whatever we want to do, damn it. You listen, you like it. But,
The microphone is not your girlfriend, Soul. You need to calm that down.
Listen, man. But, so, we're going to recant a lot of different things. Not recant, but, we're going to just rebuttal a lot of different things and post in a little side notes and footnotes there. But, I just want to welcome Trip. Thank you for joining us, Trip.
Thank you, because you already stated it. I got a lot to say, and let's point out that this is post your podcast, the Tiger Smith podcast. This is post a lot of things, but this is going to be 100% shoot, 100% honest, and this goes out to the boys on the thread. You know who you are.
Yeah, and also Lucane Saker, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you for having me.
I just want you to speak a little bit louder, because the microphone is crazy and we're in a car. I mean, it will pick you up. I just don't want it to be super low for you. So talk loud like you're a black guy in a movie theater.
I could try.
That was racist.
I'm the whitest guy ever known.
And I'm black.
Well, that's why you're allowed to say it and get away with it.
Not really. It still hurts my soul when I say stuff like that.
Okay, well, I'm part. I tattooed. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I'm part black because I tattooed it on. It's about, a third of my body at this point. That counts, right? Right, Soul?
No.
No?
No.
Well, I also like chicken and Kool-Aid. Does that count? Does that add? I'm a big fan of Chris Rock.
That's stereotypical.
What about watermelon?
Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Hold. That's stereotypical? How many times have you bragged about your mother's fried chicken and you haven't shared it with me?
Ooh.
Okay.
I have.
No.
You've never had it?
I have never had it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we are going to make a special trip to go see your mom.
Let's name off the people that have had my mother's cooking.
We did say this was going to get real.
Deacon, Shadowcat, Terry Cadillac, Rex Atkins.
Hold up. Stop there, because the first three now all have heat with you, and I don't. So maybe I don't want that chicken.
You do want that chicken.
I do want that chicken.
Because Jeremiah Bradley has.
Oh, okay, so you're going to name some people that still like you.
Yes.
Okay.
Rex Atkins.
Okay.
Cassius Kutcher.
Cassius Kutcher.
Okay.
Dana Payne.
Okay.
I've had it.
Pat G.
Well, he's a gangster, so that's going to happen.
Pat G has actually sat down in my mother's living room. We've actually had dinner, just chilled out. And
now I have heat with you, Pat.
I'm trying to think of anybody else. If anybody else has had cooking with me when I went to my mother's house, Eric Eminon. Yep. I think Jamar did. My partner Jamar.
That is
Jamar
a
Justice.
lot of people. But you know what? We're digressing. This is supposed to be about wrestling, not food.
Is. But food is a part of the wrestling road trip.
That's true. That always is.
True.
Okay, so let me start.
We'll hit some sheets later.
Oh yes,
But
indeed.
we're also, while we are joined by Trip, we're also joined by Lucane Saker.
How are you guys doing?
We already discussed that.
Yeah.
The power of editing. You forgot that we already introduced him.
We did.
Hi.
But I'm reintroducing him.
Okay, not a problem. It's the power of editing, baby. So I'm gonna start off. So last week you listened to the Gabriel Soul Soapbox. #FightMe. #Truth. #Business is business.
Hashtag.
#. And I said some things in there that were anger driven, and I wasn't truly, clearly thinking straight from a journalistic point of view. I mean, I was thinking from a business point of view, and I was very true in everything I said. Everything I said. I'm not taking back anything. However, I should have added some more things in there. One of the things is, since we have Trip in the car, being 100% truthful, Trip did have the book at OSPW at one point in time. And I remember I walked into Trip's house one day when we were going to, I think we probably were going to ACWA.
Yeah, we were, where we're going today is, you popped over that morning.
And I popped over, and Trip had the book at the time, and he showed me the next 3 shows.
I love those
in
days.
his book that he wrote down. And those matches that were on all 3 cards were phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I mean, and I say that not because he's in the car with me, not stroking any egos. You know how I am when I've already spoke about it and yelled and screamed and ranted about it. Business. The shit that he did made sense. And that's what business is. If Trip would have still had the book, I honestly believe that company that died last month would still be alive. I'm not giving you no more recognition. That company would still be alive right now. It would still be making sense, and I think ticket sales would have risen because it would have made sense, and you would have given a fresh insight to an old school promotion. Yep.
I'm going to jump on that.
Yes.
Because while Trip did have the book, and the matches that he was booking for those 3 shows were amazing, I'm going to take it a step further. At WrestleFest 13, I believe, Eric Emanon offered to do a whole design and a flyer and everything. Made it look phenomenal to the point of it. If you had this flyer, you saw this flyer on the street, it was a show that you wanted to go to.
It actually complimented the name of said company because it looked old.
It looked like a vintage boxing announcement.
Yes.
It looks beautiful.
It was superb, and it was so good, in fact, that the promoter decided to put it on a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? The boys bought them. The shirts sold. Clearly, what was done was great.
For business.
For business. And to that credit, Pat, I'm the one that asked Eric to do it. See,
So-
I want to talk about this. Let's, we've now touched on a couple of subjects. I've had the book, or I talked to the right person to get something remarkable done for the company. I've been doing that for as long as I can, count on both hands with OSPW. I've been the person to come up with the right thing, put the guys over, whether it was my match or not,
Every time.
shock value the crowd, get the right guys to do the right things to help out and contribute to the company. 9 out of 10 times, either out of my own pocket or completely free of charge, which, again, to Eric at IndyCar Media, thank you. But to that, I'd also have to point out the fact that I'm the one that 9 out of 10 times, when guys wanted to up and leave, I'm the one that convinced them to stay. So
Yeah.
let's because your name is fresh, Eric and Tommy, IndyCar Mafia, they left and forfeited the tag team titles this year. They wanted to leave OSPW 2 or 3 times last year. And to Eric's credit, with a lot of convincing, and I will fully admit, even some begging on my end, Tommy and Eric stayed for as long as they did and put on the quality matches that they could, given the circumstances that they were under.
Right.
Soul, yourself included.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 times I convinced you to stay.
Yeah.
I convinced you to show up and do your job.
Yep.
Granted, at times it paid off, other times it was just a big spit in the face.
Not a spit in the face, but I was more on the business mind again, So I mean, like for instance, was that the first time I left when I completely left the TV title?
Yeah, that was the first time you walked out.
That was more of a personal thing than anything, because he screamed and yelled at me because my personal life, overruled his so-called business.
Yes. Now, to that one, I sat down. I remember I talked to you about that. I
Yes,
said,
you
listen,
did.
regardless of the personal situation, you still should have showed up and did your job.
Right.
You could have left right after you did your job. You still show up and do it. If you don't want to come back, then you show up and do the job. You show up, go out on your back, pass the title over, do the right thing. Now, granted, full admittance, I have walked out with the title. I still have it. It's in my closet. I have done that, but mine was all business as to why I left.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was screwed over on money multiple times, so I walked out. That's neither here nor there. I won't even acknowledge anything beyond that as far as that company's concerned. No free publicity from me.
Right.
Eminem wannabe.
Bang.
So, where was I? I was going on the direction of a lot of things in OSPW happened because of me. Now, I don't want to take full credit because there were a lot of things that happened in OSPW that I had no say-so, no power, didn't do. A lot of things happened. There were times where, me doing all these other things, my ticket sales suffered. So people like, Shadow or Bruce or Deacon, it was their ticket sales that helped supplement all our pre-sale. So, cool, ticket sales, you guys did all that. I'll talk about the quality of matches in comparison. It's like, I went out there and gave a grade A performance, regardless of who you put me in the ring with.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my intention. I was the guy that was always, willing to put the other guy over. Every title that I've lost in OSPW was because I wanted to put the other guy over. When I was television champion, well before Spot Monkeys Inc., so we're talking near a decade ago, I did not like having the TV title, so I said, let me lose it. What was originally supposed to be a 5-man scramble match turned into a 6-man. Let me drop the title with a screw job to Jihad. Tag team titles, I busted my knee, couldn't defend it, handed it over to Eric. Eric took what little bit of momentum I gave him, and he took off and skyrocketed and became the worker that he is today. Every opportunity that he's given, you give him and ask him to walk a mile, he'll run 10.
Right.
Before he takes a break. So, Eric, kudos to that. When I was Hardcore Champion, it was my idea to drop the title to Danny Magic, quite literally the show after I won it. When I was Heavyweight Champion, I was unhappy with wrestling at the time, and, like you, wanted to walk out. However, I did not. I showed up, did business, dropped the title. Brian Emanon became OSPW Heavyweight Champion. Came back, won the title again, in a great Iron Man match with Cassius Kutcher, and
Where you threw up.
Where I threw up twice.
Because
twice.
your hair, you choked on your hair.
Oh yeah, he shoved my hair right down my throat, and I threw up twice.
Yep.
Small note, I did the action cam for that match.
Yep. Thanks for dodging me throwing up.
I really didn't see anything.
So, after I was Heavyweight Champion, having a good run with it, solid matches, I find out Bishop wants to come back. He wants to run at Heavyweight Champion. I jumped at the opportunity to put the title on him. I said, let me be the guy. Let me do it. Now, this is where I had my problems. I would give numerous ideas. I would do a bunch of things right. I would do things right by the guys. Matches that I would book that I wasn't even involved in were to do right by the guys. Every time. And even matches that I was in, the goal in wrestling when you're in a match is to focus on everybody in the match looking good.
Right.
Now, OSPW had 7 of us involved in all the decision making. Sean, owner and operator. Thunder, his father. Mark, his brother. So 3 members, all the same family. You have Bruce, who contributed.
I thought you called his father a Mark.
No. Mark.
I know.
Mark, who's not a Mark.
Go ahead.
So then you get into the other 4 of us. You have Bruce, which I love Bruce to death, and if it wasn't for him, he saved OSPW in a way that no one else was in position or even willing to do. He got us the ring, he got us the truck, the sound equipment. Bruce contributed shy of $20,000, to get everything square for OSPW, to up the production from what it was to, it still could have been better, but it was 10 times better than what it was when I first came to OSPW. So,
Right.
Bruce, I love you and thank you for that. This is the guy that came out of his own pocket to fly in from California every single show, and all he asked for was guys that are training in the ring dues go to him. I'm pretty sure that, 5 people paying what they paid was not anywhere putting a dent into the amount of money he paid out of pocket for his ticket.
Right.
So again, Bruce, I love you and thank you. Now, you had myself, and I've already gone over a list of what I did, so I don't have to go any further. Now we get into the two people that I felt were, one was a cancer to the company, one occasionally seemed to go into business for himself. The one that seemed to go into a business for himself occasionally, or just make everything that he did revolve around him, was Tiger. Tiger, I love you. We are good friends. There are a lot of times I did not agree with your business sense. And at times I'm going to say lack thereof. A lot of the times that things were done that were his decision, I didn't agree with. And the one that sticks out the most for me is especially this last show. Tiger was inducted into OSPW's Hall of Fame and was Wrestler of the Year for 2015. I was Wrestler of the Year for 2016. And then immediately went to a match with Tommy Mandrake. I completely disagreed with the fact that Tiger Smith won that match. Tiger, your list of accolades is a mile long, many of which you booked, many of which were given to you because of your loyalty and your dedication to whatever company you were with. You did not need to go over in that match. Tommy should have. And I legit got pissed off and argued with Sean about it. So I disagree with how that went. But from what I understand and what I was told, that was your decision. That's the only example I'll cite with a decision that I disagree with. Last person on the board. Shadow. I love how Nickel City has this long list of sponsors that are all contributing to his company. I love how he's got all this money to bring in all these names. Where was your dedication and loyalty to OSPW when you were not only a member of the board, but you were the promoter's tag partner? Where was your dedication and where was all this to help save OSPW? Instead, I'm pretty sure that you sabotaged it from the inside out.
Thank you.
I will say that flat out, and I don't give a damn. I really don't care. Now, like I said, I have a lot to say, and I'm going to reiterate something that, I said live, I said to Sean, I said in front of the fans, and I hope everyone hears this. OSPW died the same time Mike McGee did. And it's because of me and the people loyal to me that OSPW kept running afterwards. There were more people in that locker room loyal to me before they were loyal to OSPW as a company, which is why more people came to me thanking me before they thanked the promoter for their spot, thanking me before they thanked the promoter for their opportunities. Anyone want a strap? Whether it was my decision or not, thanked me first. Guys wanted to leave and stayed because I asked them to.
I did.
Guys that let's give me the rub. I worked Sean Carr twice this year. I worked Johnny Puma twice this year, and I paid for them to come in. But what did I do? I made sense with the booking. Sean Carr came in.
They were great matches, might I add.
Thank you.
Oh,
They
God.
seriously were.
Yeah.
Thank you. Battle of the Super Kicks round 1. Sean came in, put me over. Thank you. Battle of the Super Kicks round 2. I worked everybody. Everyone thought I was going to win. Sean even thought that I was going to beat him again. And what did I do? But I put him over. Why? Because I didn't need it. I did not need it. Johnny Puma showed up the same night. And how's that for shock value? Everyone thought that Johnny Puma would never, ever show up in OSPW. I love him to death because he sat in his car pissing in a mouthwash bottle for almost 2 hours before coming in through the front door to lay me out in front of the crowd.
That's beautiful.
Now that's pro wrestling.
That is dedication. That's friendship.
That's something you can't buy.
I did buy it.
Yeah, you did.
Actually, no. I did not buy that. He stayed in his car. I didn't pay him to come attack me. I did pay him for the matches, but I did not pay him to come attack me. And that, I might add, was his idea. Was to actually show up live and get an even bigger shock value. Which is why, yourself included, everyone was shocked when he showed up.
Yes, I was even, if I would have known, I wasn't even in the area. I thought we were going directly to intermission. So I wanted to go do something, and I come back out, and Johnny Puma was walking past me. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? And he's giving me the evilest look in the world, because of course he's Johnny Puma. So he runs past me, leaving. I'm seeing you in the middle of the damn ring. Like, what the hell just happened? What the hell did I just miss?
Well, he said it when he laid me out. Did I want to make an impact? Did I want to, make history? Do I want to be remembered? Well, I'm pretty sure Trip vs. Johnny Puma, 2 shows in a row to end OSPW, that made history. That was something to remember.
Oh, yeah.
But I did it to help OSPW. The draw for the last show at OSPW was one of the best ones we've seen in almost all year.
Yeah.
The ovation that I got from my match was overwhelming. And I said it then, and I'll say it again. Big thank you to Johnny Puma for coming to the company with the worst reputation to help give the best match.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Oh, I'm sorry for ranting.
No, that's what this is for. I mean, that's what Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast is for. You know, it's for those situations when you have to get a situation out. You know, I mean, of course, we journalistically, report wrestling, and, we report everything we can locally, nationally. Whenever we get information, we report it. But sometimes there has to be a soapbox. Sometimes you have to get something out, and why not use us as that catalyst to get it out there?
I don't need a soapbox. See, my biggest thing is I sat back for my 11 years with OSPW, and after my first 3 years with the company of being loud, boisterous, and getting in trouble, I decided to listen. I decided to take more feedback. I decided to keep my mouth closed more and learn. But I refused to keep my mouth shut when things that I felt from a business standpoint, personal standpoint, whatever it was, if I felt that it was wrong, then I became argumentative. Then I became defensive. Then I would make it an issue. But that's because it had to be made an issue. Like, I want to point this out because, screen cap this fucking conversation with Sean Carr. So, I wanted to say thank you. I couldn't be happier about both matches. You're going to be great and bring pride to wrestling, is what I said to Sean. To which he said, thank you, that means a lot, dude. But right before that, what do we get? Thank you again for last night, bro. This is Sean to me. You were the only one who gets it in that area. Sean Carr said that to me.
Really?
Now,
Really, Sean Carr? Really?
Now, hold on.
I love you. No, fuck that. No, really, Sean Carr? Only fucking one that gets it? Really? And I put you in a podcast?
Stop. Cyclone. You're about to whirl out.
I fucking love Sean Carr, man.
Hold on. Let me point out that he said I'm the only one that gets it. But let me point out, you're one of my students. You also get it.
Hey. Okay, Sean Carr, you're off the hook right now.
See, here's the thing. There's a lot of guys that are loyal to me, not just because they're my students. Nasty Nick, David Evans, a couple of names. Cyclone Jones.
Bam.
Hell, a lot of people got their start because of me. Hi, Mirage.
Hold on.
Then there are people that got trained and then came to me to actually learn. I'm going to talk about Luke Kane Saker.
Hi, guy.
Now, right now, we're on our way to ACWA, and we're going to beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
He's been begging for this match for a long time, so I promised him that he is going to get that match. So I'm going to beat the shit out of him. If he doesn't hit me back, I'm going to hit him harder.
Please do. I want to know how hard I got to hit people.
Now, Luke Kane, Mr. Jimmy Andrews, Mr. Jimmy Stitches.
Stitches.
This guy was trained by Tiger Smith. Now, I'm not going to say anything bad in regards to that training.
I'm not going to say anything bad, but before you go on with that one,
Okay.
it's amazing. And please stop me if I start to go on a little further. I'm going to stop swearing too. I love you, honey, because as soon as I got ready to say the F word, I thought about my girlfriend. I love you, baby. Mwah.
That's okay.
I
I think that's your girlfriend too. Oh! Too sweet me.
Don't too sweet nobody. Don't make me beat your ass right now. Especially over my baby.
Should we get with her and take a selfie?
Please.
No.
Please.
Anyway,
Back on track. Tiger Smith's
it's
training.
amazing that I'm sitting right next to a Tiger Smith trainee who knows what to do, who knows how to cut promos now, who knows how to carry himself, who knows what to do and what not to do.
Let me stop you there. That's where I have to stop you. Tiger Smith taught him how to wrestle. I taught him everything else.
Well, then never mind. Tiger Smith, you still, fuck you.
Like, Tiger, again, I love you. We have a great friendship. However, there's many a person that cut their teeth under you, got their feet wet because of you, got into the business because of you, didn't learn anything further because of you. Like, Luke Kane is a prime example, and, correct me if I'm wrong, dude, but he broke into the business, had a gimmick that he was given, didn't understand.
By Johnny Puma, mind you.
By Johnny Puma. Didn't know what to do with it, did what he could, then took his own hiatus because he just got tired of it. When he came back, he actually had an idea of what he wanted to do. Now, mind you, no one saw him for like 2 years. 2 years?
3.
3 years. No one saw him for 3 years. No one knew what was up. Came back. When I saw him, I said, hey. And again, mind you, this is, again, some of the shit that I did when it came to OSPW. Hey, you want to get back in, come to OSPW. Just shut your mouth, do what you're told, and I promise I will get you a spot. He came back to OSPW. He shut his mouth. He did what he was told. Not as per his trainer, as per me.
Did camera work.
Did our action cam for about a year, almost a year and a half, before he finally got thrown into an OSPW ring.
I remember that. And I remember he said exactly those words, word for word to me. I'm back here. I'm going to shut my mouth. I'm not going to say anything. And word for word.
Word for word. Shut your mouth. Do what you're told. I will get you a spot. I promise.
And then from there on, I might not have had the wrestling spot in OSPW, but I did get on the road with you to places like we're going tonight.
ACWA, ECPW.
PPW.
Oh, damn it. I didn't mean to give him a name drop.
PPW.
Orange K.
Don't worry about it. We'll edit it out.
Thank you. Put a toilet flush for that one.
Okay, not a problem.
But
MFW.
like, I promised. I gave you my word that if you showed up, did what you were told, and kept your mouth shut, I will get you work. I never, ever went back on my word. Every person that's ever been loyal to me, I told you, I will get you work. Stay loyal, I'll get you work. So, I've taken Nasty Nick on bookings. I've gotten Mikey a spot. Mikey every night. Bravo, dude. You are making headway. I'm so proud of you with everything that you're doing. Same thing with Kaiju Chris West. You know what? Chris, I'm happy that you were OSPW's last champion because at least it was a credible champion to go out. Could have been you, Soul.
I didn't want it.
We talked about it. We talked.
I always wanted Chris West to be the last champion.
It made sense.
It was actually planned for Chris to be the last champion. I was supposed to go over the first match
in August
and be champion, yes. And then Chris West beats me for the last championship. But Chris wanted to do his new gimmick of Kaiju, and that people hate the Kaiju because he's the beast within. He is the beast, So, and that's what he wanted to do, and I agreed with it.
I loved it. I love what you guys did. But, as far as that's concerned, it is what it is. But all the people that were ever loyal to me, I always promised them I would get them work, and I never, ever fell through. If promoters ended up screwing us over, that's between us and the promoters. We got to do business. We got to change things up. But if I promised to get someone work, I got them work. And, when it came to business acumen, both of you are prime examples. I instructed both of you and taught both of you how to do business with a promoter, how to talk business, how to talk rate. And, hey, guys, be 100% honest. Have you gotten paid when I got your bookings?
Every time.
Yep.
Hell, I'm going to, nice little cheap plug for you, Mr. Conti. PWA coming back after 2 years, October 29th. And you know what? Mr. Cyclone Jones and the Maddness of Trip both booked on that show. And when it came down to business-ish, business-ish acumen,
it's okay.
Oh, man. It really came down to, you got a hold of me and asked me, what should you do?
Yep.
So I instructed you on where to start, don't take anything less, what to add. And to that credit, you threw the first offer out there and he took it, correct?
Correct.
Which was more than what we would have settled for. We're not going to say numbers right now because A, that's bad business. B, we don't want promoters knowing what we'll settle for.
That's right.
Exactly.
But it's like guys like Luke Kane, guys like, Soul, a lot of people cut their teeth, with one person, learned how to grow from me, learned how to do business from me, learn how to adjust their gimmick and develop and evolve their gimmick because of me. I never promised anyone that I would get them to the Fed. I never promised anyone that I would take them, and make them a living off of wrestling. Because hell, I don't even make a living off of wrestling. If I was single and lived in a one-bedroom apartment and didn't even have my cat, sure, I could do it. However, I got a family. I got some pets.
He said he'd make money if he didn't have his pussy.
That's right. Valkyrie. Valkyrie's my favorite. You know, had her for 10 years. Only woman that hasn't screwed me over. That's a different story. That's...
Bang.
Anyway. But I didn't promise anything that I couldn't deliver. I promised you work. I promised to help. I promised to help you grow. And I never, ever failed on that promise.
Wow.
That's what I did. I'll interrupt you real quick for that. No.
Oh, no, it's not an interruption. I'm good. I'm going to take a drink now.
That was done. You didn't notice? So you got to notice that the inflection, whenever someone's done talking and they're at that end of the point, that inflection will be a softer tone. It will be straight to the point, but a softer tone. I like it. You know. But that's Trip. Trip knows how to do it. But go ahead, Luke.
With OSPW, when it was around...
You guys keep dropping that name. That's a lot of edits that Pat G's going to have to do.
Leave him in there because...
I don't want to leave him in there.
Hold on. I will get to why I want you to leave him in there later. But get to your point, bro.
When it comes to that, one thing that Joe has always done was put his neck out there.
No, it's fine. Use my shoot name.
You can shoot it? Okay.
I'm good.
He put it out there for everybody. Whoever wants a spot to contact him, there was a spot available. Every chance he got. And the only one to have ever took him up on his offer every time was me. I don't know why nobody else wants spots, gets their name out there. I mean, what are you in this business for? And I'll be straight up honest with you. I was disappointed with how many times we got turned down from people. I didn't mind the lone road trips with just you and me. Those were fun.
They were fun.
It's just we were the only common denominators. Nobody else joined. And they were complaining that they don't get much more than just, one booking, 2 bookings a month? And we were, at that time, you and I were going just about every week for like 5 months, 6 months straight at least.
And we were doing double shot weekends.
Yeah. And nobody wanted to come along with us for at least one of them. You kept putting his neck out, and he wouldn't do it anymore. So now, like you told us, you were not going to put your neck out for anybody else after you're done.
Oh, yeah. The very shoot statement with that one that I've already told promoters, I am not the go-to person anymore. If someone name drops me, that I will vouch for them. The promoter has already said that they will contact me directly and ask me about that individual specifically. I am not going to go out of my way. I've been accused for years of always going to business for myself and to never help my brothers, never help the boys. Yeah, I'll fucking show what that's like. Because I'll go, I'll make more money, I'll enjoy the bookings. Now, there's certain people that don't need my help. You know, IndyCar Mafia, Tommy, Eric Mirage are doing wonders. I have never been more proud of anybody than those three because they took everything. They've got their own brand. They got their own marketing. They have everything. They are the real deal. They are the total fucking package as a tag team. They are great singles workers. They have great minds for everything. I'm proud of them, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Mr. Gabriel Soul, Mr. Cyclone Jones,
Yeah.
Everything that I've seen you do over the years, I'm incredibly proud of the worker that you've become.
Thank you.
Granted, I have talked to you about this, about some questionable business decisions that you have made over the years. We've discussed this. We've corrected some of these.
Correct. True.
And overall, I am proud of you. Lucaine, you've been my protege. You've been my right hand. You've been there step by step. You are probably my greatest accomplishment as far as passing my knowledge and my business sense to anybody else. Granted, we had a couple of small speed bumps.
We have.
Most of which on your end.
Yes. I mean, I'll
but
say this.
we don't even need to go into it because it's over, it's done with, it's buried, and you've made amends. We've well since grown since then.
Yeah.
So again, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
When you called him your right hand, I had a masturbating joke there, but I couldn't get it out in time. You are like the ultimate...
That's why I use my left hand.
You are the ultimate non-pauser when you talk.
I know. I know. I don't leave much room for error.
No.
See, most of the things that I do, including my promos, I do in one take.
Yeah. All right, continue. You were going on your list.
So, those are some of the greatest things that I've either helped develop or I've been there for the development. Now, that, without saying, I also have some great failures. Chaz Hectic.
Can I say something?
Hold
No, why are we bringing him up on my podcast?
No, the reason I'm bringing him up is I was let down again by him. Now, Chaz was a trainee before you came around, Soul.
Yes, I know.
And he was the biggest Hardy Boy Mark.
I know.
But you know what? This kid had it.
He did.
Chaz had such remarkable natural ability.
He did.
It was sad and sickening that it was going to waste.
It was.
I've talked to him, and he dealt with a lot of demons, a lot of personal things.
He did.
And I kept trying to give him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity because he had it, and he kept letting me down. And the last time he let me down, and Chaz, you can take this for what it's worth, you let me down for the last time. I'm never going to put my hand out to help you again.
He got in contact with Jay Flyer when we were supposed to go to, where did me and Flyer go?
IWE?
Was it IWE? Yeah, no, he was going to go to Main Trip. The fucker backed out, didn't even fucking answer us.
I gave him an invite to be a lumberjack for the match with Puma, and he told me he would be there, and clearly if you watch that footage, he wasn't there.
No.
He no-showed.
Robin was there, though.
Yeah.
Boy Wonder.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't care about Rob. I don't care about the kid
sorry.
underneath the mask, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, everyone has our great successes, or can't even say, success as if it's over and done with. We have those that we're proud of that are still making waves, and then we have our ultimate failures. The biggest failure yet, Mr. Shotgun Jackson. I'm only going to touch on this for about 2 minutes or less.
Hold on.
Because this is podcast, you can't see my face when he said his name.
I'm scared, and I'm sitting next to him.
I'm only going to say this, like I said, 2 minutes or less.
Time it.
He was fun, as an interviewer. He had a good personality. He had a shitty mindset that he adopted from his trainer because instead of having the mindset that he's a student and he should listen, he adopted his trainer's mindset that he was already entitled to whatever he felt that he was going to get. He was not ready. He was pushed too far, and by pushed too far, I mean he just wasn't ready. He did not have the proper mindset, didn't have the heart, sure as hell lacked the physical ability. And, while he was a good kid, he was a waste of time, he was a waste of space, and the only shotgun he should have done is Kurt Cobain himself. I'm done.
Oh!
I mean that professionally, not personally.
Oh!
Let me specify that.
Okay.
Oh! On that note, we're gonna take a break. Patsy, take us to commercial on that one. Oh! Take us to commercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cyclone Jones, and I am with Pat G. The G stands for gangster. And remember, the TTRP is sponsored by the Gear Network store through Amazon. If you visit shopgear.com, it's a little bit different. That's shop, GERE.com, and click on any of the banners. It will take you right to your account, and you can do all your Amazon shopping there.
Hey everyone, John Cimino here for Amazon Prime. If you've thought of signing up for Amazon but were afraid to pull the trigger on that because it's $99 for a year and it's one flat price, even though there's awesome benefits to it, I got great news for you. Amazon has now given you a variety of options to try Prime. First of all, you can either try Amazon Prime Video for $8.99 a month, which is cheaper than Netflix, and it also gives you unlimited movies and TV shows, including HD, Ultra HD, and HDR when available at no additional charge. You can try Amazon Prime Monthly for $10.99 a month, which is equivalent to Netflix, but in addition, you'll get free 2-day shipping, unlimited movies, TV, and music streaming, access to over 1 million ebooks, free unlimited photo storage, and free same-day delivery in eligible areas. Perhaps those drones? Maybe, maybe not. Not sure. Or if you're old school like me, you pay $99 a year annually, and you get all the benefits of Prime Monthly. Plus, you can save 25% with prepayment discount added. It's an added feature for you yearly folks. Don't think they forgot about you. You can go ahead to GearNetwork.com. That's GERE Network.com. Click on our Amazon banner, our Amazon Prime banner, and we can hook you up with a free 30-day trial through us. This podcast does receive a special bonus if you sign up for Prime using us. And that's even if you don't keep it, but we think you will, because it's awesome, and if you shop Amazon frequently like I do, that free 2-day shipping is a lifesaver. As always, thank you for bookmarking and sharing our link at GearNetwork.com.
and gentlemen, welcome back to the TTRP. You know who I am, I know who you are, and we're here.
Whoa, how do you know who they all are? Isn't that a little stalkerish?
You didn't know the TTRP was controlled by Big Brother? JC Money?
Oh, well, hey, big shout out to JC. Love that man. In fact, I need to touch on a couple of things in regards to that man when we get to those topics.
Well, you know what? Listen, we're back from break. Take it over.
Oh, whoa, we're back? Oh, okay. Let's see. We touched on a couple of things. We touched on, someone needing to go Nirvana. We needed, need to get on the topic of business acumen, if
He
you will.
said touched on.
Shotgun blast.
Around Western New York. That's where it stops. I digress. Business acumen. We talked about it. We're now a week away from it. I would like to talk about OSPW closing doors.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to say, I don't think will get as heated, but it will get detailed. I have been with OSPW 11 of its 14 years of working order. I have been on the board and actually helping influence things in OSPW probably a good seven of those years.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually became a point that it was end of winter, early spring this year that we found out that OSPW was closing, that I was relieved to know that. I was actually looking forward to OSPW closing. The reason I was looking forward to OSPW closing is I felt in my heart, and Sean, I love you, but please forgive me, that OSPW had become a bastard or a shell of what it was and what it could have been. Now, I think the statement many times has been made that there are too many hands in the cookie jar.
Yes.
There were 7 people influenced decisions. Now, when it comes to a lot of decisions made, 3 of those voices were technically one voice. The reason I say that is because 3 of the seats went to the Cooper family. Sean, Mark, Thunder went to the family. Now, they all did their own things to help with the company, and in essence, a lot of the time, Thunder didn't appear. I'll say I'm not going to say it didn't happen, but didn't appear to make a lot of decisions or say a lot of things on decisions. But several conversations I had with him, where I gave my insight of how things should have gone, he told me he agreed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark is Mark. Mark was always the quiet guy. Goofy as son of a bitch. You got to know Mark. He was a goofy, fun-loving dude. He really was. I love him to death. And he handled all the footage. He made sure guys got footage. He did the editing. He did a lot of things. Granted, his flyers were not something well received by the locker room. To be blunt, they weren't good.
No.
But, he still did it. And, for Mark, everything that he did, even when he couldn't wrestle because of his back, he still contributed to the company.
Right.
So again, those 3 voices technically were always one voice because a lot of the time they either just agreed with Sean or they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Now, let's point out that the OSPW 7, the only one that had his name on anything as far as power was Sean. So Sean was willingly giving up creative control to 6 other people.
So Sean was like the Denzel Jackson in the new movie, The Magnificent Seven, coming out next Friday.
Are you getting paid to drop that right now?
I wish I was. I hope I am. We're gonna start doing that too, Pat G.
Yeah, get more sponsors.
We're gonna get fucking sponsors. We're gonna start dropping shit. Magnificent Seven coming out next week.
You can't swear.
Actually, it came out yesterday.
Came out yesterday?
It came out yesterday.
Magnificent Seven, Denzel Jackson. Oh, that's my little brother. I'm sorry. Denzel Washington came out yesterday. Today's Saturday.
Man, how'd you blow that spot?
I don't know. My mother was in love with Denzel Washington. That's why my little brother's named Denzel Jackson.
Ah, okay.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like I said, business acumen, when it came to OSPW, a lot of things were going in the right direction, but several people, because of their all-for-me attitude, pulled it in the wrong direction. I fought tooth and nail for a lot of different things at OSPW, and it became, I was the go-between between the boys and between management. And it got me a lot of heat. I'm pretty sure it got a lot of people pissed off at me. because it seemed like I was playing the fence when I wasn't trying to play the fence. I was playing the political game that had to be played to try to help everything, to give the fans a good product, to give workers matches they could be proud of, to give resume-style matches, that they could send out to promoters, and to give the boys what they wanted.
Which is technically what we always want out of a match.
Right. Exactly. Now, it took me fighting tooth and nail and drawing up a, written agreement, not a contract, an agreement between company and worker to even get a goddamn kickback on ticket sales. You sell tickets, you get something in return. So you sell a ticket, you get $1 in return. You sell 10 tickets, $10. 20 tickets, $20. 50 tickets, $50. So on and so forth. Now, the deal that I had in place with management was we had to do it for X amount of shows, which the number that was agreed on was 6 shows. Ticket sales had to be 200 plus every show for 6 shows, and then guys would start receiving a regular payday. We had those numbers.
2 shows.
I think no, not 2 shows. We had those numbers for 4, maybe 5 shows. And then we dropped, I don't remember if it was the show right before WrestleFest or right after WrestleFest, where our numbers dropped down to 150. I looked at it as, it's the summer, people are busy, people don't want to be indoors, people are out doing things. We know it's slow in the summer.
Right.
We know that. We're all used to that. We accept that. And then the following show, which was September, we had a good crowd again. We were well over 200. So I was like, okay, 6 out of 7 shows. We have over 200. Let's give the guys a payday. I was told by several people on the board, not just Sean, that, hey, we dropped down a show, so we got to start, the 6 shows over again. It's like, no, the fuck we don't. No, we don't.
That's great.
We had 6 out of 7 shows where we drew over 200. Now, Sean was always reluctant to part with, money. Now, after I got him to agree to it, Sean never went back on the ticket deal. Even though, at this point, it seemed like we, quote-unquote, had to start over on the positive crowd numbers, he never went back on the ticket deal, even to the final show last week.
Yeah.
Never went back on it. Several times, my tickets that I would sell, I usually gave the money, it's like, hey, just give, what I was supposed to get on ticket sales, give it to another worker. Ish, I think I've done that for you.
Yep.
I've done that for Tommy Magic. Lucane, I think I've done that for you before.
No, I didn't get anything.
No, you didn't get that one?
I didn't get anything.
Okay. I know I've done that for Amato. I've done that for a lot of people. So, the people that were arguing against it were more people that were all for them, all for them, all for them. Now, this all for me attitude, fuck OSPW, fuck the company, that went well into the final show with people making decisions on their own matches. Now, yes, I made decisions on my own matches. I picked specific people for the last 4 shows of OSPW to have matches with. And they went in this order: Sean Carr, JC Money, Deacon, Eric Emanon. Reason I picked all these people: A, Sean Carr was breaking into the business and came to OSPW. He was partially being trained by Horace White. He was under the guidance of, Rob Cook and Cage. So he was getting some sound advice, some bad advice from a lot of different sources. Mm-hmm. And when I first met him, he wasn't taking wrestling that seriously because he was also doing MMA. But the second I saw him in the ring and got to roll around with him the first time, I said, this kid has something and I can't wait to work him one day. That's why I booked him. Because I was going to have the match that I saw happening over 7 years ago.
Okay.
JC Money. Man, I love him. And I say that, in all honest, John, my name is Joe, and I love you to death. This man was my go-to when I broke my neck. He helped keep my eyes focused, helped give me a lot of clarity. He helped keep me right. I've thanked him before several times. I'm always going to thank him for it, because if it wasn't for him, I would have lost my shit a lot worse than I have. Now, John and I, we butted heads. We had heat for a little while. I apologized and made amends. We worked for NEW, we worked OSPW, and had 2 good matches. And we were going to do our rubber match. We were going to do the final one, and we were going to do that at WrestleFest, because it didn't make sense to do anywhere else except at OSPW, because the history of NEW, Trip vs. JC, And the history of Trip versus, the Underworld Cartel at OSPW, it had history, match made sense. Deacon. The reason I picked Trip versus Deacon is because they were two names that were always synonymous with OSPW that had never gone against each other one-on-one. Ever. Not comparing us to, The Rock Hogan, Michaels Hogan, Sting Undertaker. Not comparing it to that. But given the circumstances, you have two names that are the top billed babyfaces most of the time. Mm-hmm. At different instances, there were people getting more shine than me. I can flat out admit that. Riot being number one, getting a lot more shine at different intervals.
Right.
But Trip versus Deacon had never happened one-on-one. So I said, why not give it to him? It doesn't really matter how we go about it. They haven't seen it. Let's give it to him. And then lastly, Eric Emanon. Eric was my go-to guy when I hurt my leg. I gave him the ball and he ran with it. Eric was my go-to guy when we were rebuilding me for the main event to go against Cassius for the heavyweight title. Eric has always been my go-to guy to either fill a spot or be my opponent and to give something, to help me give quality work. He has always shared my mentality that the match needs to look good. Hell, the last time I wrestled him, the Pick Your Poison match, 2014, we got an ovation off of a schoolboy pin, like it was Undertaker tombstoning Shawn Michaels. And that was Eric's idea, 100%, and it was golden. So, again, now we've listed Sean Carr, JC Money, Deacon, Eric. Well, because of the whatever history, I don't know all of the details. I'll leave that for JC to talk about. The history that he has with Terry Cadillac and with Shadowcat.
Okay.
JC had too much personal investment against them to risk hurting himself or disrespecting me professionally to show up. So I had to find a new opponent there. Wasn't a problem. Or actually, it was a problem. Then, I was told by Deacon that he and Bishop were going to go back towards the tag team titles, so he wanted a rematch of Sons of Thunder versus Spot Monkeys, Inc. Brian Emanon and Trip versus Deacon and Bishop. I told him no. I said flat out no. I don't want to team with Brian again because we're too different now. It has been way too long since we teamed up, and while we can have fun and give a quality match, I feel that Brian's heart and my heart were on completely two different pages in two different books to have given a quality match that the fans would have enjoyed, that we would have enjoyed. So I said no. And then because of a lot of bullshit and a lot of politics, and after begging, again, I will admit begging Eric to stay twice, Eric and Tommy just had enough and they left OSPW. So now I had to replace my last three opponents. So after my first match with Sean Carr and JC pulling out of WrestleFest, Sean Carr told me that he was available again. So I said, come on, come the fuck down, let's do round two.
You could have wrestled Cyclone Jones,
I could have, but when I asked, I was told that you were busy. When I asked Sean, I was told that he had different plans for you.
And Bruce took my last bookings.
Bruce took you. So the people that I asked for were Luke Kane, Gabriel Soul, and Mikey Every Night, and Chris West. I was told that there were plans for all of you and I couldn't have those matches. So, at that point, I was looking around. I threw names out there. I threw the name Blackjack Phoenix out there, which I was told by management no.
Yeah, that was a no.
I got a hold of Tyson Dukes. Schedule-wise, it just never matched up. I had some interactions with him in Ohio. He's a great guy. I love him to death, and I was so proud of him with what he did in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Who, Dukes?
Yeah.
Oh, Dukes is awesome.
Oh,
That's my boy.
I love him.
That's one of my dogs. We get together, we sing DMX.
He loves my pirate boots. As he told me while I'm kicking him with them. But I digress. And eventually, I said, you know what? I'm going to take a shot here. I shot a message to Johnny Puma. He gave me his number. We talked about it. We set it up. Now, at this point, I now have it Sean Carr, Johnny Puma. I had no idea who I was going to wrestle for the last show. Till the day before I had to wrestle Johnny Puma the first time, he told me he was available. for September. So it went Shankar, Johnny Puma. Now, this was the part of the one last trip where I was actually, in all honesty, planning on leaving the wrestling business for a period of time, if not permanently. However, after my matches with Sean and after the first match with Puma, I couldn't do it. The quality matches I had with them, there was no way I was giving that up. Because I had great matches. Earlier this year, I had a great match with you.
Yeah.
At the company that we are going to right now.
ACWA. It was a good match. And he was like, hey, guys, I need you guys to go like 15.
Yeah, first we're told we have 10 minutes. Then we're told 15. Then we're told 20 to stall for time.
Yeah.
And we're okay. And we gave them what he asked for.
Yep.
And it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Hit me in the nuts twice.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Hashtag nut kick. So that was, during this time, during the last few months of OSPW, I only focused on what I was bringing to the table. I only focused on my matches. I only focused on what I was doing, who I was bringing in, who I was paying.
Correction. Hashtag nut headbutt. Wasn't a kick.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
420 headbutt. I forgot.
Okay.
So prior to that, I tried doing a lot of different things. I tried bringing in a lot of talent. I had people from Ohio and Indiana come up for me. I had people from Pennsylvania come up for me. I had different workers from different states come up here and work for little to nothing because I asked them to. And I kept trying to do things, for the boys to help the OSPW product. Several times my ideas got screwed over. Prime example, and this is one of the decisions that Bruce made that I was against. I've tried to talk it down, but it still happened. Last year at WrestleFest, you mentioned, I think we mentioned earlier about Eric Emanon and Thomas Brewington, the IndyCar Mafia, Mikey and Chris, and then it was you, Soul, and Deacon over the tag team titles at WrestleFest, which won Match of the Year.
Yeah.
Which, congratulations, Match of the Year. Go get your plaque.
I didn't get it yet.
Yeah, go get it.
I probably might not be able to get it now.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I will go by Dunder's house and pick it up. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
It's not at Deacon's house.
But anyway, that was all Eric's doing to have it make sense. Now, originally, it was supposed to be you guys cash in your title shot, get it. They cash in their title shot, get it. That's it. But because Bruce wanted to close his House of M storyline, he wanted to team with the tag team champions.
Which was dumb as hell.
Which wasn't needed.
Wasn't needed at all.
Eric and Tommy had gone through too much up until that point that the payoff should have gone to them. Instead, it went to Bruce. And then this last show, again, another payoff that went to Bruce, again, that I was against, was the second unification of the Junior TV and Television Championship.
Within 4 months.
Within 4 months.
Oh, God.
Now, unifying them in the first place was my idea. They were supposed to become one sole title if the crowd was into it, which they were. Instead, they were separated again onto Lucane Saker and El Jihad, only to go back on Bruce for the very end.
Yeah.
Now, Bruce, again, has contributed a lot to the company. I feel that he didn't need it. Jihad, again, you're a friend. I love you. You didn't need it. Mikey Every Night, Lucane Saker. Two people that, no matter what was ever asked of them, were workhorses. Busted their ass, broke their back, went home in pain, stayed and did ring crew. I think there was one time, Lucane, you were concussed and you still helped with ring crew.
That was with the what do you call it? Gentleman John match, I believe.
Yeah. So honestly, it should have went to one of you two. Again, another thing I disagreed with. I already talked about the Tiger Smith Tommy Mandrake one earlier. There were a lot of things happening that I disagreed with. But the biggest thing that I felt was, as I put so eloquently, was an abortion in that ring was Nickel City going over OSPW.
Yeah.
Now,
hold on. Before you start that, let me just get my voice in there as well, because this has turned into the TTRP which is the Trip Turnbuckle Talk.
Sorry.
Because I haven't said anything really much.
Sorry.
But I mean, listen, this is
Not sorry.
Listen, sorry, not sorry. We'll just say Trip soapbox. Trip takes over TTRP.
I'm good with that.
All right, cool beans. All right, continue.
So, OSPW versus Nickel City. First off, it's run by somebody.
I like that.
It's being run by somebody who claimed to have the exact same injury that retired Edge, Mr. Adam Copeland, but was able to come back from it not once but twice now,
Yeah.
and wrestle at this last show for Nickel City.
For the
If you're
record,
gonna be full of shit, fucking be full of shit about something that's not a legit injury.
for the record, the injury is known as spinal stenosis, and it knocked out David Wright from the New York Mets for 7.5 months out of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
But see, spinal stenosis is a degenerative disease
Yeah,
that is hard to maintain, let alone recover.
yeah.
So, personally, flat out say it, I think you're lying. I think you're a fucking liar, and I think you're full of shit. So, it's being run by him, who currently, regardless of what he says to anybody else, currently does not have his own license, has to piggyback off of someone else. Now, business aside, I have no problem with Terry Cadillac.
He did say that he is not having a license until the beginning of the year. Then he's going on his own.
Which
His
is
words.
stupid. Which is stupid. New York State, your license renewal is in September. Why buy a license for 8.5 months instead of just getting it now? Oh, that's right. Because what you did with booking NCW to go over OSPW is because, as a whole, you cannot stand on your own 2 feet. In our business, we have something called doing business or doing the job. When you're leaving, when you're going out, you're supposed to do the job. You go out on your back. That's what you're supposed to do. That's business. That's doing business. It's doing business the right way. OSPW did the job for Nickel's Shitty. OSPW did the job.
That's the new hashtag.
That's for you, Ash. That Nickel's Shitty Wrestling, that's for you. Please check that for grammatical errors.
Did you see the new one?
I saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
Buy your new shit.
Which hasn't been changed yet.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Anyway, OSPW did the job. OSPW went under to Nickel City because of the fact that it cannot stand on its own. A, it's borrowing someone else's license. B, it's piggybacking off of another Fed that has a legacy. And now the legacy has been completely pissed on. Now, I have 11 years dedicated to that legacy. You know, some people have, more time than me. A lot of people don't. And a lot of the people that left are probably pissed at me that I stayed. And you know what? That's fine. Be pissed at me that I stayed. I full-heartedly don't care if that's why you're mad at me. I wasn't leaving because I helped cultivate, groom, and grow that crowd. That crowd, some people have come, some people have gone, some people have come back. That crowd, I helped put that crowd there. I helped that crowd get to where it was. Granted, other people started killing it. That's why I stayed. Because Trip vs. Johnny Puma anywhere else, while it could have been just as good of a match, didn't make sense to do it any other house but OSPW. That's where it meant something. Nickel City can't stand on its own, so it had to begin its legacy and begin its first angle, which was almost at your expense.
Almost.
Had to begin its first angle and first thing at the expense and on the corpse of OSPW. Let me point out that this was something that I fought tooth and nail, argued, and bitched about, complained about to my very last breath at OSPW, even after my match was over. Because it wasn't just OSPW doing the job. It wasn't just OSPW going under. It wasn't just, the name OSPW being buried. It was every person that ever wrestled for him. It was Beth Phoenix. It was Angelina Love. It was Daphne for some name drops. It was Warpath. It was Riot. It was Gabriel Soul. It was Mikey Every Night. It was Jay Flyer. It was the Bone Crushers. I could keep naming names, but there were so many people that gave their all at different times for free. For free, because they were grateful for the spot they had, for one. For two, Sean was always family. Sean was always family. Sean was always a nice guy, which is why people that were the drizzling shits, like Princeton Royal.
Oh, again!
Got a spot.
Again!
Got a spot. Got a spot.
Oh.
I know. Which is why, different people got what they didn't deserve, but Sean took a chance. Now again, Sean took a chance. Sean took a lot of chances over the years. I'm one of them. I came from ESW with Flatline, Riot, Ruthless, and Danny Magic. Not ESW the company, ESW's training. When a whole lot of things were shifting in power and it was a refusal to give me a shot on their card, on their show. When Danny Magic sold his share of ESW and came to OSPW, we went with him. I presented Sean a gimmick that I had no idea what to do with, and he said, let's run with it. And he's trusted my judgment with a lot of different things, and a lot of times I really screwed up. Yes, I'm talking about the live music performance, JC. You don't need to jab at it again. I know. But I've done a lot of different things there, and I've been involved with almost every major thing that's happened at OSPW.
But you know what? But let's look at that. With the live music thing.
Oh, come on. That's the thing you're going to pick out?
No, the reason why I'm picking it out is because it's different. It's innovative. I mean, you took a chance, and that's what businesses do. You take a chance. Because if that would have popped and did something huge, you'd have been like, holy shit. Everybody would be like, oh, damn, let's do this now.
Well, in bringing Dark Blood to do my entrance music that night, I did get another 30 pre-sale tickets because of people that knew him and liked his performances.
And that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, if it would have popped like the way you wanted it to, it would have been amazing.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it didn't. But that's the nature of the beast, the nature of business itself.
Absolutely.
But my thing is, and I've said this before, and Pat G can attest to this, scared money don't make money.
I agree. I completely agree with you.
I mean, you put yourself out there. I don't know if you paid for Dark Blood or not. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You don't have to say anything.
No. Dark Blood's my friend. In fact, he and Joker, as in Blood Brothers, are performing in Buffalo October 15th. So, go check them out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to plug them, really?
Oh, I'm totally going to plug them because that's the only show in Buffalo worth seeing that day.
You're going to... Oh. Oh, whoa, hold on a second. Put your gun down, man.
No,
Damn.
No, I'm not going to put my gun down.
You just can't pull that shit out and not tell me.
I just did.
And he's driving.
And you notice I completely forgot. But anyway, completely like, wait a minute, there's a show? Oh, there is. Oh.
That is the only show in Buffalo worth seeing that day is Blood Brothers. Get your ticket. I'll have mine.
Well, I'll be defending my heavyweight championship at MFW.
That's not in Buffalo, though.
Yeah, true. But scared money don't make money. I mean, and the thing is that if a promoter would have had that same concept of trying new things, I think they still wouldn't be gone as well. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Well, see, it wasn't a fear of trying new things because a lot of new things that were tried needed to be okayed from said promoter.
Right.
And a lot of the times, he trusted my judgment. And multiple people can attest to this. Some of the more entertaining angles that ever happened at OSPW are entertaining segments, entertaining moments, where quality matches were my inspiration, my creative, influence.
I loved your book that you had. I saw that book for a bunch of matches, a bunch of shows and all that, and it all made perfect sense and melded together. And if people watch it, from the way that you booked it, we would have, like you said, had a lot of pre-sales, and we would have a lot of people in the season that would still be flourishing.
A lot of 2014 and a big chunk of, 2013 through a big portion of 2015, most of the matches were influenced or completely written by me.
Might I sidetrack you just really quickly?
Go ahead.
I love the new GPS system on your Android phone. As when you go through a new state, it tells you welcome to that state when you cross the border. It's freaking phenomenal.
Oh, that's
I like
right. That's
the
right.
little things.
We're in Pennsylvania now.
Welcome to Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen.
Pennsylvania, we are in you.
We are in you.
Yes.
Deep.
Like prison.
Like,
Don't do it.
never mind.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. See, for stopping you, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Talks amongst yourselves.
I'm a fucking gent today.
Oh.
All right.
Now, you know what? Let's talk. I'm gonna sidetrack onto the book real quick. I had a notebook that I wrote down current OSPW shows, and then I would write down future OSPW shows, how they should play out, who should go over, why, durations of things. I even, every so often, every few shows, I would update, okay, who's babyface, who's heel. I would keep a track record. I would keep a list. And that was one of the things that I think made my planning so enjoyable, is I had a plan. I can't tell you how many times, workers would get a hold of me. Prime example, this is going to go to JD and Elmo, 25 to Life. They would get a hold of me and say, hey, what are we doing next show? Or, I think, Sol, you asked me a couple times, where's this going?
That was my favorite phrase.
Where is this going? What's the point? How does that make sense? There was one time, it wasn't the last time we came to ACWA. It was actually prior to that, when you were being, after you came back after your hiatus, forfeiting the television title, you asked what direction was something going in. And that's when I showed you, 5 matches I had planned out for you?
Yes.
And when you looked at the first match, you said, what the hell? Where is this going? Why does that make sense? And when I showed you 2 through 5, you saw the payoff.
Yep.
I don't remember the details. I do remember the quantity because it was the whole second half of that year and how it was going to play into the beginning of the year with the old school rumble, so on and so forth.
Yep.
But it made sense. That was the biggest thing, was I needed things to make sense, because if it didn't make sense to the boys, it was not going to make sense to the crowd. Thus, going back to bad business. Guys that were doing everything to put themselves over was not good business, because it did not make sense. Did not make sense to the boys, did not make sense to the crowd. It was only to satiate and stroke someone's ego. Okay, there are a lot of people in the business longer than I have or less than I have. I won't call them vets or rookies, just duration, that will say that a crowd or an audience is stupid. You could spoon feed them what you want. No, you can't. No, the fuck you can't. You can give them an option and they could take it or leave it. They will decide for you. If they want you a babyface, they'll cheer you. If they hate you, regardless of what you try. Ask John Cena. Does not matter. You could stuff one thing down someone's face, down someone's throat for so long that they'll take it or leave it. And a lot of the time with all of these, ego-driven, ideas by different people in the company, those ideas were left.
Yep.
But then you kept beating a dead horse with them, and they didn't get better. They did not get better. They did not improve. They did not improve the quality of the show. They did not improve the quality of the matches. They did not improve the quality of worker morale.
Nope.
Do you realize that the only ones that ever made a joke or gave me shit about me talking during locker room, meetings were Shadowcat or one of my boys that would just poke jabs at me? The only one that had something actually condescending to say was a midget.
Which we're probably going to pass by his car on this road trip.
Are we?
No, different venue.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, you're thinking Orange K.
The Shadowcat mobile.
Oh, yeah, there was something that small.
Oh.
Yeah. So, now when it came to business, I would do business for business sense. What would make money? What can make the boys money? What will get over? What will the crowd enjoy? Nickel City beating OSPW was not an enjoyable thing for anyone. You don't have what it takes to stand on your own legally, as in the license. You don't have your own ring, hence why you're renting someone else's. You don't have quality talent because a lot of them refuse to work for you. And the ones that you do have working for you that are quality workers did not take the chances that many of us have taken to get out there and get more exposure, to get more bookings. So for the guys working for Nickel City, I don't hate on any of you. You want to work. I understand that. You want bookings. You want matches. I understand that. No ill will, nothing negative to say about you. My negativity and the ill will is towards who you have to listen to, who you got to take your cues from, who you have to take your orders from. Didn't go into business for business sense, went into business for himself. Every time he was in the ring. He's the only person I know that managed to bust somebody open through their mask. Yeah. Busted Bruce open through his mask.
That is right. I was there for that.
So, I mean, you evidently you're stronger than Edge, and you have all these sponsors and all this money, and you can do all this shit on your own. If you have all of this and you have all of that, and you're able to do all this for yourself and for your company, then the company that you are a part of in the decision making, you let down or you sacrificed or you sabotaged purposely from the inside. And for that, you're guilty for OSPW falling. Not the boys. Not the people that didn't, get their tickets. Not the guys that didn't do pre-sale. it falls on people sabotaging the company from the inside out, or the people that have the power to promote not promoting it. It was not my job to promote OSPW. I promoted it enough. I defended it enough. I defended it against everybody. I fought tooth and nail to keep OSPW in a positive light. I had to talk, convince JC Money to stop bashing OSPW for almost 3 years. And he did because I started to make changes. I showed him my game plan. I showed him the written game plan. I showed him everything that I was doing, showed everybody everything that I was doing. And people saw the changes were gradually being made. The quality was going up. The morale was going up. And what happened? Other people in management fucked me over, screwed over everything that was supposed to better the company, do right by the boys. And what did you do? Pissed everybody off, made everybody leave, and sacrificed everything because you were fucking shallow-minded and tunnel-visioned. So for that, fuck the ones that went into business for themselves to screw over OSPW. My matches for 2016 were matches I picked. Go back and watch my matches and listen to that crowd because they were matches that they evidently loved and enjoyed. If I'm lying, call me out on it. To my face, I fucking dare you. But if I'm telling the truth, watch the match and I'll prove you wrong. Hashtag fight me. I know you were going to do it. That's why I beat you to it. You said it was a Trip
You
takeover.
look so sad.
I was actually just going to whisper it. I wasn't even going to say it. But,
Oh, okay.
I mean, really. But,
Okay, hold on. Rewind. Do over. Hashtag
Fight me.
thank you.
well, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that was Trip.
That was a trip.
Damn.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.